And we are live. What is up, everyone? How you guys doing?
What's
Welcome.
good, man? I'm ready.
Good. Mark, you ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
Good. Hey, well, welcome to the Doctor of Stuff channel. I'm your host, Dr. Stuff. I got with me Danny the Bull and Mark. And as you can tell right by the title, we are here to unbox the Marvel VeVe Funko collaboration of the Iron Man Funko Gold 18-inch piece there. And obviously, the hype around it is that David Yu has said he will pay $40K for the mint number 1 SR, which has still not been claimed to this point. So we are, man, I'm pumped. I am pumped.
It'll be dope if it's opened up here on stream.
Yeah, like it absolutely could be. So obviously, here's my thoughts, right? Because we don't want to be sharing our code yet, and so maybe like as part of that, like get the box and get that tag open, because you can pull the tag without seeing the rarity still, right? Actually, I guess when you see the tag, when we see the physical tag, it'll show the color, right?
Yeah, when you pull that piece off, I think that's the piece off with the card on it, you're going to see the rarity.
So as you're pulling the actual the film on top, what I do is you can grab the piece of foam, because that piece of foam has your code on it, and you can pull it down to unveil your rarity without showing the code at all.
All right, so Mark, you're gonna lead the way.
Sure. All right, let's do it.
We'll see how this goes. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So what are you guys doing with your 40K if we pull it today?
Buying crypto.
Yeah, I've been filling up my bags, man.
Yeah.
So you've got 3, right, Mark?
I got 3 right now. So I have 4 more that are in the States. I'm gonna be heading down there to pick those up. I already have one open right there. It's this guy right here. I got a common. Nice. I got a sweet mint number 82 on that one. So
that's good. How you got them shipped to someone in the US and then you drove to pick them up?
Yeah, so I had to do a little bit of finagling on the first order because it was like 2. I opened a couple of like those boxes where they do the drops to those offices, and then you can go and pick them up on when they arrive. So
I gotcha.
Good old Canada. We didn't get that. We didn't get him here.
Yeah, it sucks. So you're gonna have to repeat this process on. I'm assuming you're gonna go for other Funko drops.
Yeah. I'm. This is really cool because it gives you the opportunity to collect like the physicals, along with the digitals. And man, as you can see, I'm a big physical collector.
Yeah.
All right. Here it is.
I think what's so funny too about these boxes is like you get all super pumped to like lift up the lid, and it's so hard to get that lid off, you know? You're just like, what the? Let's go.
All right, here it is. Yeah, it's I think I remember at the party that we had with Funko. Yeah, shout out Wes, $5 owe me 100%.
Wes trolling a bit.
I see you, Wes. I see you.
But yeah, at the Funko VeVe party, it took them a while to get the lid off when they were there. They were shaking this thing.
Yeah.
Built up that anticipation.
Yeah, I
I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to work for Apple, and their products actually, they time how long it takes for the box to drop for anticipation, for buildup. So they actually take the boxes that they have and they time how long it takes for the iPhone to drop out.
Oh, I got you.
For the anticipation.
Yeah, they're on point over there. They don't play around with their details.
That is the psychology behind that. That is wild.
What did you do over there?
I worked on their business team in the stores. So we went and set up like iPads and iPhones at like banks and things like that. So they had like a whole system, did giveaways and their POS system and things like that. So
thank you, Steph.
Nice.
Appreciate you, fam.
All right. I got the lid off. Lid's off there.
All right. Let's go. Let's see.
Nerve-wracking.
Whoa! Wait. Hold on. How do I make you big? How do I make this big?
You got to go to. Damn.
How do I? Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah.
I don't use that feature too.
This is my rookie move, rookie mistake. Spotlight.
There you go.
There you go. You're big now.
Shift the box.
Yeah, how do I shift that box there?
I can't see it on my end. There you go.
All right, there we go. All right,
now I can see him.
Okay, you can see his head here. So from here, there's like a little ledge for foam here. You can grab that and pull it down.
Grab that ledge.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Ready?
see, dude.
3. Oh man, it's so nerve wracking. Ready? 3,
Let's go.
2, 1. Oh, okay. I got it uncommon.
Uncommon. All right.
Uncommon.
Uncommon. Okay. Well, you got a common now. Now you got the uncommon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. My goal is to
Congrats.
collect all 5 of these. So let's hope we get that SR.
Yeah, man. You know, it is. These things are massive, man. Like when you get like this scale of like how big this sucker, like it is heavy.
Yeah.
They're not small.
Yeah. So that's wild. Okay. So the uncommon, all right. So my question is, are you gonna while we're doing this, you gonna find out what mint number you got?
Yeah. I can do that right now. Actually,
Okay.
I'll redeem the code.
All right. I'm gonna get my box here.
All right.
I can't get the uncommon number 1, right? Because I think that one's already been
Yes,
claimed,
correct.
So
The common and the uncommon number 1 have been claimed, right?
got it. I wouldn't mind the rare number 1 either. That one looks pretty sick. I think the all gold one looks pretty
Any
awesome.
number 1 will do.
Yeah, the all gold one looks really dope. I would
Yeah.
not mind that one. So the number on this box is mint number 1558. So we'll
Okay,
see
sweet.
if that matters.
Yeah, this is just fully speculation. Like I have the cardboard box itself, and there's like a little white sticker on the side, and I've just been seeing a lot of the SRs getting pulled in the 2500s. But at the end of the day, I did get a couple people that messaged us and said that they got theirs in like a 1900 or a 2100. So that's thrown out the window.
All right, so we got it here. Pop this bad boy. I like this is nerve-wracking, man.
It really is.
You're just like, what's this gonna be? What's this gonna be? The thing is, if I got like a single digit secret rare, I don't think that this is ever gonna happen again, ever. Right? Even with like the early on Batman Black and White season 1, like we've seen some people who had like mint number 16 Rizzo or something, right? But not single digits, not outside the company. So like to own a single digit, I think this will be the only time.
You got to make yourself big.
You're right. I got to make myself big. Good call. All right.
There you go.
There
I
we
think
go.
David was actually saying that on the around the Komiverse that he wishes he could have kept the ones of these ones, but legally I don't think they could have. So it had to be pushed out. So you're right. I think this is like the only chance we get to own like a single digit.
I'm glad these are going out to community members.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Hold on, man. Gotta get the head. And there's a second ledge. All right, fam. 3,
Right.
2, 1.
Common gang.
All right.
Common gang. Wah, wah, wah.
Still could be like a mint too. You never know.
True. That's true.
Are you guys keeping all of yours? What's your game plan? Are you gonna
I
MC
might
one
try to
half,
swap
love
out
it or
with
list it?
someone.
Huh?
I might try to swap out with someone that like because I want to collect all the different versions, you know?
Yeah.
So I know I saw someone that had an uncommon and they were like, hey, would someone be willing to trade for the original? And I was
saw
like,
that too.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything until like I know what I get because I might not even have another one to trade, right? So
Yeah.
We can do
All
Mark again. Mark's got
Yeah,
3.
Yeah, I can do another one. I just
All
redeemed
right.
my code, so let's see what I have.
okay,
here.
yeah, let's see.
Okay, scrolling down. 3, 2, 1. 83.
Oh,
Hey,
Wait, you had a different 83, right?
I had 82 for the red and gold one. So this one's 82, 83.
Wow.
so they
Nice.
said sequentially. I
My-
think 84 next.
Man, my mint number was terrible on my other common. It was like 1,250 or 15 or something like that. I was like, oh, like not even like low digit.
All right, I got a box that's 238, and then I have a box that's 1,091, I think.
I didn't even realize the boxes had serial numbers.
It's just a code like this right here on the side.
Yeah, because I took mine out of that box.
All right, I'm gonna open up the 1190 first before I do the 238.
Okay.
All right, gotta put on my Iron Man Edith glasses here to get a little better look here.
Here you go.
I'm gonna pop on these Edith glasses.
What's up, Mr. MC1, J Solo? Just going through some of these. That's true. The more that people open it, the ones that are sealed make it more rare. That's for sure.
Yeah, see, that was my initial idea, is to keep them sealed, because I do like Pokemon collecting quite a bit. So I do I know how expensive like sealed booster boxes can go. But then I found out after the fact that the code expires after a year.
Yeah.
So
Even isn't it 6 months?
It says on the box that it's September 24th of next year. So it's a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it defeats the purpose.
You know, I think it's funny, like people, well, not funny. I get the concern, right? Is only going to miss the bull run. Okay, I'd love to hear your thoughts first, guys. What do you think, Danny?
I mean, it define what miss means, right? Does it mean not make a new all-time high? Then I think that's possible. It will go up. It's just a matter of how high. Let's see what he's got. Well, we can resume that topic later.
Yeah.
Let's see what the glasses have done for the homie Mark right here.
Got
Let's
the
go.
AI glasses on. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna fold it down. See the face there. You guys see that? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Common gang.
All right.
Common gang. I'm still logging in here. Give me a second. So, because Danny, we're gonna do you next, right?
Yeah.
All
Mine's
right.
going out of the cardboard, so there we go. Got a little prepared. Just got to break the seals.
Yeah, see, we got someone here saying they're skipping the code and keeping it sealed. That was an idea I had too, but imagine if that was the number one secret rare. David just never got it because someone didn't open their box.
That would be, I mean, that's a possibility, right? If because there's a timeline on doing that code. So
wish me luck, guys.
All right,
wait, I gotta make you big. Hold on.
This right here, David, you eat your heart out. I want nothing less than 45K for this bad boy right here. 45K for the contents of this box. Because it's number one. Confident.
Let's go, Danny.
Man, they need to hire those Apple people to make this thing.
Yeah. Anticipation's a little too long, right?
Here we go, man. This is the one.
All right. Remember to grab that piece of foam underneath there.
Under there.
Pull that down too.
All right, let's see it.
Common
gang.
Dang, man, this has been brutal.
I was so sure.
We've got uncommon, common.
This is common.
This is brutal.
Brutal. I'm gonna check my. It's pretty dope though, man. It's heavy.
So Justin, yes, it is. It's dope. Look how big that is, man.
Oh, it's massive on your shelf.
Yeah. If you look at it in comparison to these other figures, you're gonna have to go on the top shelf.
Yeah, he's gonna be overlooking everything. Justin, the code is set to expire September 24th or September something of 2024. So there's a year.
September 12th, 2024.
September 12th. Okay. Now, didn't David on the AMA, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but you guys were on around the Comeyverse.
Yep.
Didn't he say that they might they could extend it or cut it short on entering the promo? What do you say about that?
I don't remember hearing that actually. He mentioned that?
I think he mentioned that for future Funko drops. Not for this one, because I think this one's set already at the 12th of September next year. All right, I just redeemed my second one. I got mint number 170.
Oh, that's good mint.
Yeah,
not bad.
Pretty decent. I'll take it.
I'm trying to. I'm a little slow here on.
I'm gonna get in mine.
Yeah, the code is kind of complicated to push in because sometimes it's like an I that's capitalized.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
heard that.
Here we go. Yeah, that was it. I actually had an I instead of a 1. I'd put in a 1 and all right, let's see my collection here. What mint I got? $6.99.
Nice.
69
Pretty
in
good.
there. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Randy will buy that from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Premium price.
All right, let's see. Let's see what people are saying. They're digging your hat there, Mark, with that gold and
Yeah,
silver.
Shout outs to
logo.
Sanjay, man. These hats are awesome.
I still got to get mine. I think that he's trying to meet people in person because I'm sure shipping. Like I shipped one of these out to some VeVe fam across the pond, and wow, what a pain, and trying to get like a decent price, like it was crazy.
To ship what? The
Iron Man.
How much was it?
Well, I used the postal service, and it was like 90. It was about $90.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I have to ship a couple overseas to Europe.
Yeah, well, because I tried like FedEx and UPS, and they were both like $380, and I was like,
Wow.
What? That's crazy
It's
compared
wild.
to the postal service. Yeah. So, all right. So it's me next, right?
Yeah, I'm redeeming my code as we speak.
All right. So let's see. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, I got 2 more chances today.
Wild, man. Someone's got to get lucky, Mark. Me or you, man. Someone's got to get lucky.
Someone, man.
That SR on the screen up there is not doing so well here. I had it up there for good luck.
We still got some luck here. So this is why this is gonna be lucky, because the number, I'm gonna make myself big here. The number on this box is 1616. So I got the 616 in there. So I'm feeling like that's gonna have some positive juju.
Yeah, 616 for Iron Man, and then number 1 for the mid number, right?
That's exactly right. Funko planned it that way. So
I got my mint number. It's a sub 100 0097.
Oh,
Not
that's
bad.
sick.
Not bad.
It's which one? It's 97?
0097. Yeah, 97.
That's better than mine, man. Both of mine. I mean, I don't mind the 699. That like 1300 one, I was just like, Bruno. Mr. 616 by the box.
Did you guys see Mr. Rolex?
If you watch this, hit me up.
Mr. Rolex pulled the secret rare number 39, which is the Tales of Suspense 39, the first appearance of Iron Man in comic book form. Man,
ooh,
that's a grail right there.
That is
dope.
Yeah.
How many did he open on that stream?
I think they did 10 each. Him and Grubba.
Wow, that's sick.
All right, let's see. Just gotta love it a little bit.
Oh man, this is a good one for you. I can feel it, man. I can feel it. This is gonna
Let's go, guys, man.
Let's go.
I got
this. Spam the chat and give him some positive energy, man.
Yeah, I need some positive juju, guys. I need some positive juju.
Save some for me next when you guys are done.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Hold on. Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, baby. All right. Okay.
Secret rare. Let's go.
We got the face. 3, 2, 1.
Oh man!
No! Brutal! Oh man! Brutal!
It's 2 for 2, 3 for 3 because you got the one in the back already.
Comments, man.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh man!
Well, Mark, it's up to you now, man.
That's rough.
Right.
Man.
Oh, jeez.
The side box number on this one is 238, nice and low. So we'll see how this goes.
This is the one. I can feel it this time.
It's gotta be something.
Yeah, some of this is the most depressing box opening yet.
This is pretty.
Anyone have some boxes they want to hop on and save the stream?
Yeah, brutal.
Where's Rolly at with his other boxes?
Yeah, I think Rolly's got a couple left. But
let's go.
This box had tissue paper on both sides.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's different.
This is the one.
All right, breaking the seals.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, lid is off. We got this here. Come
Let's
on,
go,
I don't want to
baby.
see
It's the
red.
last
Or,
one. Let's do it.
I don't want to see red and gold. I don't want to see red and gold. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's ultra rare.
rare.
Let's go.
Ultra rare. Oh, nice.
All right, that's a good one.
Okay,
That is
okay.
a good one.
So I think it's like a 1 in 350. So that's
a good one.
That's a pretty
That
good
is
hit.
a good one, man.
Sweet.
Nice.
I will take it. That is awesome.
Congrats, man.
Congrats
man.
on
Appreciate
that.
it.
Well, at least someone pulled something good, you know?
Oh man.
Now you got to check your mint number, man. Is
That's
the
true,
one
yeah.
taken?
No, the one for the ultra rare hasn't been taken yet. We'll see how
Yeah,
that
so
goes.
so mine was my mint number. I went lower each time. 338.
All right. So your other one was what?
Okay.
337 or?
So mine was 669
Got you.
and 1306. So
Okay.
yeah, 3 uncommon. I'm 3 common.
Three common. Damn.
So if anyone's watching there and wants to swap because maybe they got an uncommon or the rare or whatever like that, and they want to trade so that they can get a common physical as well, hit me up.
The commons are dope too because it's the original suit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no,
very
for
true.
sure. I'm very happy that I have 1 common. I don't know if
Yeah,
I have 3 commons. But
All right, about to hit redeem here.
all
Let's
right,
go.
see.
All right, going to my collection. Scrolling down here. Oh, it's lagging out here. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 203. Mint 203.
Mm,
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Still
I'll take
great
it.
ultra rare.
I'll take
Well,
it.
we
I'll take it.
got 2 double digits though, right? Danny, you got 1, and
Yep.
then
I
Mark
got
got
the
1 as
83,
well, right?
so
Well,
can't
that's-
complain.
That's
Mark's the
overall
big
not
winner
too
here.
bad. Man. Oh, well, guys, the juju didn't work as much. I mean, the ultra rare. I'm still pretty stoked that you pulled an ultra rare. That's a nice pull.
Yeah, there's two boxes in the States that I don't know what the little mint number sticker is on the side of. So hopefully that one does good, but this one's pretty awesome.
That is dope, man.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
is-
dope. What are those going for on secondary?
I know Sleeping Comics bought one of these without the collectible for $250. He paid $250 for it. Just
For the
the
digital.
physical. Just the physical.
Just the physical?
Just the physical.
Of the
yeah.
ultra rare.
Of the ultra rare, yeah. I think that guy sold it for a little cheap, to be honest.
Let me look them up on eBay. Now it's fun. We can look up VeVe collectibles on eBay.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
funny is that?
I saw the same paint job on Alexis of the Iron Man or the ultra rare, like the common or the ultra rare. Look, everyone was trying to send us positive juju. No way, I'm not destroying these. These are great though. Like even if I do like a giveaway or something, you know, like we got to share these amongst the VeVe fam.
Do you see the black and golds on eBay? There's just the physical. One has 16 bids on it. With 4 hours left, it's at $760.
For the ultra rare?
No,
For
that's secret rare. To buy it now price is $3,500.
Woo. For the physical.
I think that's going to end
That's-
up over four digits.
Yeah,
You
that'll
think-
definitely the one that's going for
The secret
7
rare?
spike.
Yeah.
That'll
Secret
definitely
rare.
go.
There's only 50 of those. I mean, even for a Funko physical piece, that is extremely, extremely rare.
Yeah, that's super rare.
Hey, Evolved, man. Let's hit up the DMs because I do that. I trade a common for an uncommon. You know, I would love to try to collect all the physical pieces if possible. So I sent one of that other box. You know, I had my brother because so we had 2 boxes, and I was like, you got to pick which box I got to send to the VeVe fam overseas. So if he sent that secret rare, I'm disowning him, you know.
That was rough for me too. So I had to. So I bought for myself and someone in the VeVe family who lives in Germany, and I just picked one randomly out of the box, and he gets the other. So if he gets a secret rare, it's dope.
It's just like, you know, maybe just like send us a little bit of love back or something, you know, some way, somehow.
In the form of part of that 40K, right? If it's
yeah,
number one.
Just saying, throw that out there.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Uncle Mish. So we had Mark unbox an uncommon first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, uncommon. Then I did the common. Then Mark did a common. Then I did another, or no, Danny got the common. Then I got a common, and then Mark got the ultra rare. So
we did save the best one for last, so that kind of worked out.
It worked out perfectly, man.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking at these ones on eBay right now. I'm so tempted to put in a bid for one of the secret rares.
Just the physical?
Yeah, just the physical, and then I'll worry about getting the secret rare later.
Yeah, I mean, like over time, this is pretty, like, again, if VeVe hits wide, you know, mainstream adoption, and they do more Funko partnerships and all this, like this is the first one, and we know that first, especially in the physical world, firsts mean something, right? So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna keep the box and everything. Like I'm gonna keep one of these just really nice, and preserved there for down the road. So, and even like the code, which has been redeemed, that's going to stay in the box too. You know, that says that 1 out of 1,500.
Yeah, for sure.
Just keeping as much of that together as possible will be nice.
I think I'm going to display my guy.
Yeah, I want to figure out a way to display him too, but I'm running out of wall space.
Yeah, they're not small, man. They are not small.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see here, man. Yeah, watching that stream when
he dropped.
I wonder if he accidentally hit exit or something.
I think so, maybe. Mark's, you know, he's a little bit of a noob when it comes to live streaming here.
That's what he was saying. Here he is. Should I let him back in? Mark, should we let you back in?
my bad. I hit back on the window there and logged out.
So hold on. Let me get us back to just like the normal. How do you like that layout? Is there a better layout? Man, see, I normally do solo streams or just one other person. So with multiple, let's figure.
That's cool.
Oh, sweet.
You like that? You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Oh, here we go. Look at this. SR Physical sold for
over 1,000,
1,050 today so far. So, oh yeah, okay. For a second, Mark, I thought that was you saying that. And I was like, wait, why didn't you just do that on the show?
Did that one just sell like privately, or is that a public sale on eBay?
I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't say.
Let me check the sale history.
$925 for SR Physical yesterday. So it looks like they're kind of going up in price. There's only 50 of them, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. As you sell them early, they become more rare as they end up in strong hands, because anyone buying it for $1,000 is obviously a collector.
Yeah. Right.
Someone who really wants it. I don't think you're buying this for a flip, the physical.
Yeah, because it's a pain, man. It's a pain to ship, you know, and so yeah, I think that people are getting those in. So I'm pretty stoked here that Evolve that we're going to be swapping, so he can get a common, I can get that uncommon, and at least have
a little diversity there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep a second common, I think I'm going to keep that second other one and just keep it in the box, like with the OG suit. I think that's a big deal, you know, just down the road, because even 1,500 Funkos, like that edition size, is okay limited. And and it's this Iron Man. I mean,
I agree on that. Yeah, it's not a bad one to hold either.
Yeah, and like Danny said earlier, it's the original, right? Like the red and the gold. That's the original colors of Iron Man. So
yeah.
So, on November 3rd, one sold for, I guess this isn't Canadian, but it's like 2,300 Canadian. The code was redeemed too, so that's the physical.
What does that convert to dollars? Quick math.
I have no idea. $1,700 US.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is good. That's the physical. Like that's the thing with that. This is crazy. Anyone who lands the SR, not only going to get some good money from the digital, but then the physical as well, man. What an
2 for
awesome.
1. It really is like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting 2 collectibles, the physical.
Yeah. I mean, I'm regretting that I didn't buy more now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I really should have. I wasn't even going to buy any, to be honest. When I saw the price and the editions, I was like, that's a lot. But then I was like, how do I not buy it? It's the first of the partnership. And if that partnership continues to be, and I think it will, then, the first one is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had during that VeVe party, I got to talk to the Funko founder, and I just came up, asked for a picture. We talked for a little bit, and then he asked me to come by the booth, and he gave me some free Funkos just for supporting VeVe. So he let me pick any 4 Funkos in the back room.
Oh, wow.
What?
How many Funkos were there?
The whole list. So there was a 3-hour wait in the line, and you had to reserve a spot in the lineup. And I went up and I showed a picture of Mike and said, like, hey, this is like Mike told me to come by. This is Mark. I was at the VeVe party yesterday, and the guy's like lifted up the red rope for me, let me in the back, and I picked up this guy right here. He's going for like 170 on eBay just because of this little New York Comic-Con sticker right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you know that ahead of time?
No, I didn't know. I liked Bleach, so I picked this guy, and apparently that was the right choice.
Which party was this at? The Thursday night one?
The Thursday night one, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit, and I said, congratulations on your partnership and whatever. And he's like, we got some other things coming. So.
Oh, I did, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only natural. I mean, it makes sense. Why else would Funko be at the party, right? And make such a big deal about it. I tried to corner Dan at Dan Crothers on night 2, Friday night.
Yeah. And
asked him if there's more to come in the Funko, but he was tight-lipped. He wouldn't.
And they have to be, right? Like there's those non-disclosures and that's one thing that David said on your guys' AMA. He's just like millions of dollars of penalties if like I disclose something beforehand, right? Because like they have all of these promotional things like lined up and stuff and building anticipation, and if you let something out of the bag too early, it can really destroy that momentum, So yeah, with Funko, I want to ask David, there's got to be some sort of Marvel Funko Marvel Mighties partnership, right? A Funko Mighties type thing.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It absolutely makes sense.
That's actually what I had guessed that they would release at this Funko party. I didn't realize they would do these big Funkos, but it only makes sense that we get the Marvel Mighties in Funko form. That'd be sweet.
What would be dope is if they release the physicals of like, let's say stuff that's already pre-existing with the same number of mints as like, let's say Secret Rare. And if you're holding the Secret Rare, you get early access to buy that physical.
Wait, say that again.
Like, let's say they release because now you can't do digital on Mighties that have already been released, right?
Yeah.
Because digitals have already come out. So in order to capitalize on the digital side, if someone's holding the Secret Rare, give them an opportunity to purchase the physical.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Token game purchase of the physical.
And maybe there's a snapshot. They're like, whoever owns it in their wallet as of this date, right? So there's going to be some buying and selling that'll create that there, and then have the option to buy the physical. That would be awesome,
Because the opportunity for digital on that side of things is already passed for the majority, for the ones that have been released.
Yeah, look, a Miles Funko Gold, right? Whether it's the Miles, so that big Miles Morales Funko Gold they could do, or even like a Miles Morales Mighty or something. Like I would absolutely go for that. But
that would be sick.
I'm hoping, because my understanding is with Funko, they don't ever do like mint numbers on the piece.
No.
But I wonder if they could do some sort of special collaboration with VeVe for that, or if they're just like, nope, that would taint everything else. Because nothing else would have that. Because I want that, man. I want the physical piece to match my digital piece. That's very meaningful.
Yeah, I think that could be a possibility in the future. Right now, they have the Funko Golds and like the sports characters. They're it's not quite 18-inch. It's like smaller, but they're just sitting on the shelves. They're not
Yeah.
really selling out. They're all there, but I don't know how limited they are compared to these. But I don't know. I wonder if they do the 18-inch Funkos again, because this is like technically the first one, right? Like, do you guys think they do it again?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so because it's sold out. And someone said it. Was it Sleeping Comics? I think on one of my, and he was in the chat where he said it's hard for companies to move up in price points and to move up into that like that next sector of price, which is obviously beneficial to them because they can sell for more. And now they have an established one here with this. So I'm assuming like their profit margins may be higher. I don't know.
I'll tell you what though. I don't know how many 18-inch things I can collect. Like
That's a problem.
It's big.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
just how big it is. Yeah.
Which is why I kind of like think that this might be the only 18-inch edition that they release, and then they go the route of your regular size Funkos, like your smaller Funkos that are all Marvel Mighties, and this one kind of has that special like gold label, right?
Mm.
So
And I wonder, like, they could still keep like potentially the $150 price tag because it comes with this digital, or they might like lower it a little bit. Like, it'll be interesting. I'll bet you that they're really discussing that, right? Do we keep the same size? What's the pricing if we drop the size? Do we try to keep it the same and maybe like lower the edition size a little bit, right? To make that even like a little bit more rare to compensate for the smaller size. That would be interesting. But I wanted to shout out Jimbo Lee Lingo, man. Like, this guy, he is such an OG. He came way back to Decon last year and had made these VeVe signs for a lot of the YouTubers that have been doing stuff, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of them just have that in their backdrop, and just an incredible part of the community, man. So thanks, Jimbo Lingo, for always just being like so supportive of people's YouTube channels, and just I love that. I love that positivity that people bring. We got such an awesome base of community here. So
yeah, 100%.
yeah, Uncle Mish, right? The physical and digital. Like, I think so many of us want that. So Funko, VeVe, if you guys are listening, try to make that happen if possible. We really want that to have that physical mint attached to, because like I had that on my on this Joker, right?
That's sick. It looks so sick.
Love it, right? And it's got the mint number down below. And that's so, like, if VeVe ever released that, or even if McFarlane Digital released this, right, on his platform, I absolutely would go for 248 to tie the physical to the digital. And that's another way to earn additional money on that, is to allow that to happen, because then people are going to try to match that.
The thing with that one, though, I think, is that they come out and they release the V2 version of it. Like, so the black and white Todd right here.
Yeah.
That one has the V1. And then they have a V2 version that is only differentiated on the box on the outside. But the actual statue itself, there's no differentiating factor on the statue at all. So there's like double mints of like the 1 and the 2.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Does the bottom say version 2 with the mint?
No, nothing. It just says a number, and then of like 300 of 7,000 or whatever it has.
It needs to get fudded.
Yeah, that's dilution. That's like complete dilution, right? Because then you just don't even know. Like, why even have a V2 then?
Yeah, they should totally put a V2 on it for people that just want the statue itself, right?
Yeah. So, well, shout out to Bill Gardner. He's another OG supporter. I see him on all the streams.
Yeah, Bill's
He's always throwing out super chats to the fam. Just awesome support there. And Bill, if I'm not mistaken, you live in Cali or something. I head out to San Francisco. If you're around that area, or any of the VeVe fam, I'm probably there like 4 or 5 times a year. But I'm just trying to meet more of the VeVe fam in person, man. And even it's just to go get drinks or something. Just I love this community.
Did you hear that next year's Decon is going to be in Vegas?
That's going to be insane.
Yes, that will be wild, and that's closer to me than Anaheim was. So I'm not upset about that. I've been really looking at, do I want to go to France because I'm like, I've got the VeVe gold and silver logo, and I haven't been able to use the utility or do anything, and it's just kind of like really getting at me. And I'm like, do I just go to France? But like, if Decon is in Vegas, I mean, that's gonna be a blast, and it'd be hard to justify to go to like France and then Vegas with the boss. So I might have to just pick one, and Vegas sounds pretty fun, and it's closer.
I don't think it's even in like it's not in Paris. It's like 2 hours up north of Paris. So it's quite a bit of a drive too.
Yeah, it's not easy to get to. Yeah, for sure. But in the talks, and it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to them speaking on it, because apparently David, who is listed as a speaker on the website, said that he will be talking both about VeVe and OMI.
Yeah,
because it's a crypto conference. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if OMI's more at the forefront in those talks, and to hear what he has to say.
yeah, I think. And I want to get to, like, we should jump back real quick to that comment, right? About, is VeVe or OMI going to miss the bull run? And if you want to jump back on your thoughts, Danny, you had started and then decided to.
Yeah, I think it depends on what's your definition of miss the bull run, right? If it's not reclaim all-time high, I think that's within the realm of possibilities, because not every token reclaims all-time high. I think that if they don't deliver on utility on an exchange, it's possible that it underwhelms because it's so insular and so community driven. I think that in order to get to all-time highs and break them, it needs more visibility, needs liquidity, and needs those catalysts to drive it there. It's not a it's not a small cap. It's like a mid cap, $300 million market cap. So, I'm open. My thinking is I am open. I try to be ready for all eventualities and plan for different scenarios to play out. So I think it could conceivably hit the bull scenario, right, and go to a couple pennies, few pennies or more. But I'm also open to the idea of not making a new all-time high if they don't deliver on some of those things that we've been waiting for.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, like, same thing with Danny. Like, it all depends on how you define miss the bull run, right? Like, if you're expecting it to like go crazy and go to $5 or something like that, like that might be a little tough.
Is that a pot shot at me,
Yeah.
Mark? Is that a pot shot at me?
Shout outs to West. Shout outs to West.
Bring it on.
But it's one of those things where I think I do agree with Crypto Rain that it can run up because of that chasing the green candles. I think people potentially will kind of FOMO into it if we do start to see a run up. The thing that I've noticed, like I've been in crypto for about 6 years, and kind of getting an idea of how people FOMO'd into Bitcoin when it was rising, and they didn't want to buy it when it was sitting at like $1,000 or $2,000. Same thing with Ethereum, right? And then you see that run up, and then your mom starts asking you about Bitcoin because she hears it from her friend at work. That's when you sell. But it's the same thing for OMI, and I just can't see, like, it's hard for me to fathom a world where we do get onto some exchanges, we have like minimal utility, like let's say bronze tickets, right? And we don't see like a significant run up from where we are today, just because of the amount of people that will be looking and seeing that this token is partnered with Disney, with Marvel, and just that alone. These people don't have the hours and hours that we have to sit on a live stream and watch people, or be sitting in Twitter spaces and following all these things. They're just going to invest based on, that on KuCoin or Coinbase, seeing that top trending coin or whatever is going up the most. That's just how I see it. So
I'm going to defend myself a little bit with that $5, right? Because I think that
I'm kidding.
I think that some people thought that like that's where I really think like OMI is going, and I was like, well, okay, let's back up here a second. What I laid out is in the crazy bull run scenario where we have all this utility, the tokens listed on multiple exchanges, including Coinbase, right, and Binance. We have the VeVeverse, and it hits bull run narrative, all of those things, right, where the team has met all of that, even then with all of those things, I said it is highly unlikely that it would do that, but it is not out of the realm of possibility.
It's impossible.
It's not impossible. So,
It's impossible.
Look, you know what? People said that, and this is the thing. All of our minds here, and I've seen this as I analyze. So I wasn't in crypto like in the mid 15, 2016, right? But for my job, I did analysis on that, and I talked about like, is this coming into the banking sector and why it would or why it wouldn't, right? And I looked at those cycles, and I heard people all the time being like, Bitcoin, there's no way that Bitcoin's going to hit X because that's this market cap, and it's never gone here before, right? Now, for all of this to happen, Bitcoin would have to hit a major market cap. I'm talking in the trillions, right? Because then all of that money flows down. And the thing is people have to think that like, you just have to have enough people saying, I'm not willing to sell at this price for the price to then go up to another higher limit, right? And then
people to keep buying at that price at the same time.
Yeah. So those
people are going to sell. Right? They're going to take profits.
Yeah. Okay. But here's the deal though. This is what happens. So before it can even get up to that point, you're going to have a lot of these whales that are selling, that holding billions of tokens, right? They're going to have to be selling. But then you're getting people who are getting in at the dollar entry price, right? And for them to make profit, it's got to go higher. And they've already seen these run-ups. We see it all the time. I saw people who bought Dogecoin at 50 cents saying, I'm not selling until it goes to $1. I'm not selling until it goes to $1. And they didn't. And it never got there, right? But it got higher and higher.
But that was still only maybe a $7 million market cap. And that's a meme coin backed by the most influential person in the world.
That had nothing going for it.
Correct. But it didn't have to because it's a meme coin. And it's the OG meme coin of the space. So meme coins occupy their own special place in crypto. And they're known, everyone knows, like it's just like you pump it up and gets to obscene market caps because it doesn't have to make sense because it's a meme, and that's kind of the beauty of it. But OMI's not a meme coin. So when the Doge OMI comparisons get made, I don't think it's a fair comparison because by that comparison, you could say that about any token then, right? Any token can be compared to Doge to say if Doge did it, why can't this token? So, I mean, that's always my rebuttal of the Doge narrative.
So the all-time high for market cap for Dogecoin, it was $73 billion.
Yeah.
73 billion, not 73 million, but
billion. I said billion, right?
Oh, I thought you said million.
No,
said,
billion.
Yeah.
I said million. That was my bad.
Yeah.
I meant billion. I meant
73 billion. Like, and here's my rebuttal to that. And look, again, some people are saying like, I love golf, right? VeVe isn't going to do anything. You're right. It might not, man. Like, I think the VeVe, like, people were kind of concerned when David said that it was going to just be an upgraded showroom. That's what they said a year ago, is what they were working on, is an upgraded showroom first, right? And it's going to be built out in phases. And then they want to get to a builder economy where they're letting other people go in and build that so that they don't have to build that infrastructure. And that is a bullish scenario for them to start doing that. But regardless, like, I'm also taking into consideration potential burns, which we'll see if we even get those burns and what those mean, right? Because the burns would have to have a significant play on that before the run up there. So look, again, am I packing my bags and saying I really think that it's going to hit $5? No. Like, I'm preparing for all scenarios. I've diversified too, and that's so important. You see so many people who are complaining and they're like, VeVe's not doing, or OMI's not doing anything. And I'm like, I don't even care, right? Because my Cardano's up a little bit, but my Bitcoin's up, my ETH is up, my gaming tokens are significantly up.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't care. Like, with the diversification, tokens are going to pop off at different times, and you can take profits on some and then still put bets on others that you feel like, hey, still have that narrative or could hit a narrative and go up, and you can play that game. But when you only have one token, man, it is killer. And I've been there. And that's why I was like, early on, I have to diversify, because the emotional state of seeing all of these other tokens pump and mine's not, I wanted to go chase those green candles. I stopped myself from doing it. But like, a lot of people do that, right? And so that's fine, right? Like, you guys can mock me. Like, do I think it's really going to $5? No. Could it? I do think that it could.
No, it can't, Dr. Stuff.
All right, yeah.
It's along the
I
same
wouldn't
lines of what
disagree.
what
But it's
crypto
beauty
range has.
also. Different opinions, you know. And
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold a moon bag. I'm going to hold as so I have the different price
too.
points at which I'm going to be selling my portfolio at, right?
yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
And I'm going to have anywhere, depending on each token that I own, 10 to 15% as I sell up. There's going to be 10 to 15% of the original portfolio that I have that is going to be my moon bag. And I'm like, I'm not selling it unless it hits some crazy price. Right. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, because I've already cashed out, made my profit, and there's no emotional concern about, oh, like I've got to sell or I need to sell it, like, or it's got to go up and make this, I got to make my money back, you know? So, anyways,
I agree with
like,
that. Having a moon bag, scaling out, for sure. And I'll be doing the same. So then the next question is, when do you start layering out? You know what I mean? And sometimes some people might set that price too high also.
yeah,
So it's tricky.
yeah. Like for me, like the first, the first sellout for me of basically any token, is I sell 5% when it doubles my price point. Like, and this is me buying at the lows here, like in the bear market, right?
Right.
So that's when I'm like, okay, so like some of my Omi bag, right? Like I got in at like 006, 007. So like once it hits like, I'm sorry, 0006 or 0007. So once it hits 0015, I'm going to sell a portion of my Omi, right? And keep some of that. And then as it goes up, like it'll be higher movements before I sell additional portions. But by then, like I've got all my money out and I'm just playing with house money, and I've made some great gains. And so I don't get crazy rich like that necessarily, right? Where I'm holding, I buy Doge at like quadruple 4, and then I don't sell until 70 cents. Like the likelihood that I'm going to hit that timing is just as likely as a $5 Omi, which is not likely, right? But it could happen. That's all I'm saying.
You're triggering me.
It's the same thing. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna send you a shirt, Danny. That's like $5 Omi, you know, and then it'll be like Doctor of Stuff, and it'll say soon on the back or something. Hashtag soon.
Cavell still got you beat with a $10 Omi, so
yeah. Look, $10 Omi. Like
You're only half as bullish as Cavell.
People just don't. People just. I really don't think that you guys, the euphoria that's gonna hit. Okay, right. And I did a video about this. You should watch this video where I lay out a lot of the catalysts that are coming, and it might take some time, right? Like I've listened to a lot of analysts that talk about how much money is coming in when we get a Bitcoin spot ETF and what that means, right? And like the institutional investors and what percentage, and they have some very conservative numbers on like how much money each year they believe people, because it's going to be, this is the thing, is once you hit a spot Bitcoin ETF, it's not a one-time pump. There are people who are entering in who are just getting to their 401ks and things, right? Or just getting into working with some of these hedge fund companies or like investment companies like Fidelity, and they're like, oh, I want you to allocate 1% of my portfolio to Bitcoin, right? Like it's like
it invites like pensions and all sorts of
and it doesn't matter what the price is. They don't care. They're just saying buy this price and dollar cost average as I continue to do that. So you're going to enter into an incredible amount of people that are going to be putting that, and it's going to be part of 401ks and hedge funds investments, right? So like this is something that crypto has never experienced before. And some of these people that are holding on to Bitcoin are like, I'm not selling until Bitcoin hits $1 million, right? Because that's where they think that it can go, and they're OGs, and maybe they've got 2,000 Bitcoin or something. Like I don't know. And so as people then take profits, though, they're always continuously looking for, what can I roll this into? Maybe I'm taking some profits, but what can I roll it into, these small micro caps or mid caps? But the FOMO is real. And when VeVe, if Omi, and this is a big if, right? If VeVe the team can really come through on the utilities that they have talked to us about, and it can hit a narrative, like all of these are like ifs, right? And it decreases the percentages, the more ifs that you need to hit to get to something. But people stop looking at the price. They don't care about the price. They just want in. They want to be a part of that ride up. And so like a lot of these things, when you hit some of these all-time highs on some of these tokens, you're just like, this makes absolutely no sense, and no one could have predicted this.
But you know what would make no sense for Omi is like a 50 to 70 billion dollar market cap next cycle would make no sense. But to get to like those dollar ranges, you're talking upwards of $1 trillion, which would make sense for like Ethereum for sure. Ethereum could even go multi-trillion. And then I can see like Solana, Cardano becoming like 20% of ETH's market cap. So if ETH is, $1 trillion, I could see Sol at 200,000. If Ethereum is at 2 trillion, I could see Sol up into the $500 billion. The layer ones, the big boys. These other coins, I think 50 to 70 billion is well overextended and irrational enough as it is. And that would put OMI in the, I don't know what range, I forget, but.
What was the all-time high for Bitcoin last cycle market cap wise?
$1.5 trillion.
Trillion and a half. Okay.
Yeah. And Ethereum was about $500 billion, I think, 400 to 500 billion. I want to maybe higher, maybe 600. Because I think Ethereum at 1 trillion is $7,000. About.
Okay. So Dino, real quick, I didn't say that I was selling half of my OMI at 0015. I said that I would sell 5% of my OMI of the 5% that I bought at 0006, 0007. So that's still not a significant portion necessarily of my portfolio, right? But like by doing that and a little addressing of Josh, like a diverse portfolio doesn't mean you suddenly don't care about your other investments. I agree. But what it does, a diverse portfolio, is it makes the sting of some of your investments not going up when others are. It takes some of the sting out of that. But I've been there where I only had like 2 tokens, and I'm talking to Crypto Rain, right? Who's got like 80 at the time or 100, whatever it was, right? And he's like, oh, this is popping off and this is popping off. And I'm like, why aren't my tokens doing anything? Why didn't I get into those ones, And
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm in this, I have about 9-10 coins, and OMI was the only one not moving. Actually, it was going down. But I didn't care because my whole portfolio was up a bunch in the last 2 weeks. And so it does take the pressure off of, that short-term sentiment and volatility.
Go ahead, Mark. You're going to say something.
No. I said, I agree.
Yeah.
That's what I should be doing.
So you're all in OMI?
I'm pretty heavy into OMI because I do see like the vision of the team, and I'm okay to wait. Like even if it like for me personally, if it misses this cycle, I'm not worried because it's still like I still have my investment in there. I see what the team's long-term vision is. I'm invested into the technology and where the future is. Like I don't think we'll have cell phones in like 6-7 years. We're going to be using AR technology for everything. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So
with this, and I'll address this with I do think, so here's what we haven't seen. And I, as someone who really understands financial regulation very, very well, I am appreciative of VeVe being very careful when it comes to that OMI token in crypto. Because we saw what happened with XRP. Even though XRP is winning these lawsuits, look at what it did to the company and the token for so long, right? And luckily XRP had the funds to fight it, right? And but 2 things, and this is what, like, at some point the SEC could go after Sandbox, or
didn't they name them in the Coinbase? I think they named Sand.
Sand's in there and Mana's in there as well.
And they said that they were securities, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't gone after them for selling unregistered securities.
No, they went after Coinbase for selling.
Correct. They went after Coinbase as the exchange, right? But they could also then go to Decentraland and Sandbox and say, you sold unregistered securities to U.S. investors, and we're going to fine you substantially. And, oh, by the way, you have to delist the token from the U.S., right? And
Comey didn't do that, though, which was a good thing on their part. They had an overseas token sale, correct?
Who? VeVe. VeVe did an overseas token sale. Right. So they never, as part of their raise, they did not sell to U.S. investors, right? And these are the things as they're talking to these. I'm sure they talk to SEC attorneys or attorneys who used to work for the SEC, right? And have knowledge about that as they're working with this. And so they are being very careful, especially when their name is tied to Disney and Marvel and things, because you're right. And one that honestly, like if something were to go down with the OMI token and it really looked bad, these partners could say it might be like embedded in the contracts, right? That if something happens to the OMI token, like we have the ability to cut ties. So these are things like, as I'm trying to think of an investor, like these are some of the risks. I agree, but the fact that VeVe is taking such time with it is great. But I also agree that if you take too much time, you're going to miss the bull run, right? And then the potential gains that are there. Now let's take a step back. I know all of us want to drive our Lambos. You know, I've got my color picked out, and you know this is all great. But at the same time, even if VeVe went, if people are buying at this 000 9 level, like 001 level, and then it gets to even just 1 cent, that's a 10x, right? And let's say that they even bought that in 2021, and a 1 cent OMI happens in 2025. In 4 years, they did a 10x.
Yeah.
That is so substantially better than anything you could ever do in traditional finance, you know?
Right. So yeah, when I think about the token, it doesn't, for me personally, because I've bought in the 000 range and I lowered my average cost.
Yep.
Even if it went to a penny, like it's all good for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But and that's also a thing, a reason why it'll suppress the price, because you have all these people with, I know people with like 150, 200 million OMI, you know, and think about how big their bags are going to be once you get into those low cents.
Yep.
They're going to be selling and securing those gains if they're smart, right? Not like Slum Doge holding it down.
Yeah, this guy, Slum Doge,
$3 million and holding it all the way down.
The thing with Slum Doge is that I almost think that that's become his like image online, and he's used it as a piece of he promotes all these. Yeah, market himself, because you see him promoting all these other random tokens, right? He's probably getting paid bank to promote these tokens.
Yeah, he's created, correct. He has created a what's it called? No. What's the word?
An image,
a brand. He's created a brand for himself.
Yeah. I don't listen to people in general, right? I tend to not take people very seriously who have not been very successful in the space as an investor, right? And I look, he made a great call in buying Doge early, but then like he didn't sell, and hopefully he's learned from that, right? But I do look at like crypto rain, and man, like I shoot myself in the foot I just shoot myself. I get mad at myself so much. And he was telling me to buy like Cardano, like when it was at 3 cents and these super lows. And I was like, dude, I am not touching crypto at this point in time. You know, the volatility, I don't have the time to really research it and stuff. And and then when he's like, oh yeah, like I've made millions, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And that's when I started listening to him, right? And I started having more and more conversations with him and picking his brain. And luckily he was super cool enough to give me the time of day to even talk to me about some of this stuff.
Sometimes it takes a full cycle to learn.
Yeah.
And then you're ready for the next cycle.
I got my buddy in the chat when Pokemon, he was telling me to buy Bitcoin like when it was sitting at like $1,000, and I was like, crypto's dead. I didn't take the time to do the research or anything like that, and I'm kicking myself too, because then he ended up getting a couple tokens, right? And it's one of those things where I felt the same about Cardano. I bought some, it did nothing, and then it had this. I sold it, and then it had that massive run up, right? And I missed that too. So I'm doing the same with OMI.
The other thing too, when people are getting FOMO, is we're starting to see prices increase. At least historically, Bitcoin's new all-time high doesn't hit for like 16 to 18 months after the halving.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's the thing, is you'll see these like run ups, and then it might trade sideways for a little bit, and then it can do like another big run up and stuff, and then some astronomical run ups on some of these tokens. But there is time, and again, like some tokens popped off at different times because that time span is so long. There are different narratives during the bull run, right? That start hitting.
Profits get sold off from one narrative and bought into another.
Yep.
And this is why OMI does, they don't need to hit on every catalyst for the token to do pretty well. next cycle, because people are going to look for other things to take their profits into. And as long as there's visibility around it, and they, get exchanges maybe, and a couple small catalysts, it can do well.
It will also play into that price action too. If it depends on also the narrative for NFTs and digital collectibles in the next cycle as well, right? Like it has to be a portion of it. And I think what I heard from the interview you guys did on the Around the Comiiverse with David, he said that in China they don't call them NFTs, they call them NFRs,
Right?
Non-fungible rights, I think, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have a $1 billion to $2 billion of trading volume a day just on those. I think that's what he was saying. So that if we're looking to enter that market with our Alibaba partnership, I think that's a big thing too. So,
and it's also going to be interesting to see how the NFT space evolves, right? And if people have migrate from PFPs to licensed IP, knowing, after seeing what happened last cycle and seeing how a lot of those projects totally disappeared, but like the license stuff isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about that interview that Elon pushed out, talking about on-chain? I think it's like NFTs are technically on-chain or whatever, something along those lines.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, he talked about how most NFTs are really just pointing to a URL image, right? And he's like, why don't you at least mint them on chain so they're like actually on the blockchain? So he wasn't like necessarily a big fan of that of NFTs in general, and I get it. And that's one of the questions I want to ask David. Get an answer is like, are VeVes like NFTs, are they on IPFS, right? So that if VeVe were to go down, like they don't shut down, stop paying the servers, and then all of a sudden we don't have an image anymore for our NFTs. Like that's a big deal, right? So they on IPFS, and then also really trying to understand and get clarity on whether or not if something like what happened to Recur happened to VeVe. With Recur, I was able to transfer my NFTs right to my non-custodial wallet. I've got my Hello Kitty ones. I got some Care Bear ones, right? Like, but they're in my non-custodial wallet. And I know that he talked about potentially for the artists, but we didn't get a real true answer on like the Marvel and the Disney, and that's a big deal, right? So there are risks here, and that's one thing that I think sometimes people, when I talk about how excited I am about VeVe, that like I'm a moon boy and I don't consider some of these risks. Like I absolutely do, and I do want some of these questions, but at the same time, I look at as someone who's analyzed companies and businesses and contracts, and I see the due diligence that some of these massive companies do before they even tie their name to anyone is incredible. And the fact that like you get someone like Marvel who's saying we're going to extend our contract, like an 8-year contract, that's a big deal. And they're showing a lot of faith in the team and what they're doing there. And those are some of the things when the team can't come out and say things, those are some of the things that like aren't spoken, right? But physical actions that are being taken that I can take note of and say, look, I know how these companies do their due diligence, and the fact that they're willing to hitch their wagon to VeVe's and tie their name to them for an additional 8 years, like they must be sold on the vision that VeVe has for them. So.
And it's not like a little side thing either. Like they're front and center in the middle of Comic-Con at a booth with their name and lights right next to Marvel, right? And a lot of the artists that I talk to at Comic-Con, they're like, that doesn't happen at all, ever. Marvel never does that. And another thing too, at the VeVe Funko party too. I don't know if you guys know this, but I was talking like this was my first ever interaction with David. I was like, "Hey David, how's it going, man? Nice to finally meet you in person." And then he's like, "Give me a second," and he like brushes me off and goes to talk to someone else. And then like a minute later, he comes back is like, "Dude, do you know who that was? That was the vice president of Marvel. Like just came over and like cut me off." So I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. You can totally say hi to him."
It's wild.
Yeah, it really is wild.
Yeah, the vice president. See, and I think that long term, VeVe has that potential. Now, I've seen other companies, right, come and go that had significant potential, and then they fall by the wayside, right? IBM used to be this behemoth, and now you look at them, and yeah, they're still around and things, but they are nothing like what they used to be, MySpace. That was a massive thing, right? And that was a multi-billion-dollar company, and
A new niche ahead of a trend, right?
yeah, right. But then that went down. So like those things can happen, and you got to catch waves. And I'm always trying to listen. I don't block the fudders in general unless they're just cantankerous a-holes that just attack people. I don't need that negativity, but I do want to hear salient points on, like, here's some of the red flags or the concerns, and be like, have I taken that into consideration? What do I think about that? I think that's really important for anything that any of these projects that people are in, is that they really do try to not tie their emotion. Now look, there's two different things, and that's what I love about VeVe. There are certain collectibles that I'm buying that I'm like, look, this is probably going to be worth $0 in 5 days. I don't care. I love the collectible, and I bought it just because of that. But then there are some that I'm like, these are FAs of very important characters that I know that Marvel or Disney are really, they care about, and they're going to continue to push this IP. And potentially down the road, if VeVe stays around, man, this could be pretty historic, right? And I'm willing to ride the price volatility because I'm playing the long game on that. And but the fact that these companies continue to collaborate with VeVe, man, it says something. That really says something. So
they have that consistent factor, and I think that's what I like most about them in terms of a project, is that the last bull run that we had, they weren't like pushing out something for the sake of pushing out something to get price action to go up. Like, it was, they said, we're trying to get these things pushed out, we're going to do it right, there's no timeline specific for it to hit the bull run to do that. So in that way, they, like, you could miss the bull run, right? But I think that consistency, also building in the bear market, is so important, that a lot of companies like kind of fall off during that time. They stop building, and then that's when the project slowly dies off, right? So the same thing you were saying with some of those companies that you were talking about, they just kind of like let off the gas during that time. Whereas I can't think of another NFT projects that's gone this hard in the bear market as VeVe, right?
There definitely are some. I think Illuvium's really building. Star Atlas has been building.
Yep.
Those are more like games, right? I mean,
sure.
games with NFT component mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, going hard is in, like, you're looking at some of these live events that are happening. They're continuing to ramp up their partnerships, improving the app, things like that. Just consistency, right? And although it may be slow, and my wife works in tech, and anyone that is like that knows it's her, she's like, there's delays in tech all the time, and you have something working for 2 days, and then the code breaks, and then you're like, oh crap, it was supposed to roll out tomorrow, but now we have to delay it, right? It's gonna happen, especially in a I think of it as like, you're going to the jungle, VeVe's going first, and they're chopping down like the grass that has never been like paved before, and so they're paving their own road, right? And in that time, you're gonna run into issues because you're going down a road that's never been traveled. So
yeah, they've definitely been building throughout, and go even like adding things that we didn't really expect, like the Funko thing. Like, I don't think we saw that. We knew that they were going digital, but we didn't. I didn't think that Funko would be announced.
And the thing with that too, sorry to interrupt, but with that, the Funkos, right? Like, someone reached out to me a year ago and told me that the 50 Iron Mans were minted already a year ago. So, and I was like, oh, there's going to be an Iron Man drop soon. I just kind of kept that in the back of my head, and it didn't happen until this year. So there's tons of legalities and all these things that they have to get through in order to push out these things, right? So.
And it's a reminder of that there are things that we don't know about yet, and partnerships and other deals that have been made that are yet to come. So it's kind of like an iceberg, and we can only see the ice on top of the water, but underneath the water, there is a bigger piece of ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So Jojo, long term for me with the collectibles is like 10 to 20 years, right? When I look at some of these things, like my assumption is that digital collectibles will be a thing going forward. I look at like my son, right? And literally, like, he's 2.5 years old, and he cannot get enough of this Spider-Man, my secret rare Spider-Man. He constantly asks me to do that. And the Cookie Monster one. He loves the Cookie Monster one. And like even my daughter, like, they're growing up and everything is digital for them, right? They're learning on iPads at school. And so they're so much more comfortable. And so as that generation grows up, right, and they enter into the workforce and they start making money, I think that they are going to be way more comfortable purchasing digital. And as space becomes less and less easy to access, right, and costs more, real estate costs more, all these things, it makes more sense to collect that way. And just the transferability, all of these things. So I think it may take some time for mainstream to truly adopt that, but once it does, then you're going to get the oil money that are saying, what can I do to flex, right? The oil money are the ones who are like, hey, I want the license plate that just has number 1 on it, and I'm going to pay someone $5 million for that, right?
Yeah.
For a license plate, just to flex that number. And so if NFTs come to mainstream adoption and VeVe really has some of these FAs, that's where I think that there could be, right? So I'm willing to make that longer term bet. Now I'm buying multiples of things so I can sell along the way.
Yeah.
Just in case that doesn't happen. So
The thing is too, like it has to be safe. Like the I'm gonna use an example, like the whole Mr. Rolex situation. He's been in the space for a really, really long time, and like it really sucks what happened to him. But it just goes to show that it can really happen to anybody. And it's really tough, right? If you see that as a regular person that doesn't understand Web3 or like, yeah, you own it and all that stuff, right? Just clicking on a link and having your whole wallet drained, that's enough to keep someone away. Right.
Sure.
So it definitely makes me grateful for, like, again, the fudders are going to come in and say I'm a moon boy for this, but it really makes me grateful for the way VeVe has their stuff right now, so that if something does go wrong, it's their responsibility to kind of help you get it back. Right.
Yeah, I think ideally like that hybrid model would be best, where you have the ability to keep it in VeVe if that's your level of comfort, or self-custody, I think, is also important for other reasons, right? Like I was saying earlier, if they go down. And so I think ideally that hybrid model long-term would work best. And I do hope that we get self-custody.
Yeah, I think that us as a community should continue to push for that, right? Because the IP listens, they listen to these spaces, they listen to these videos, right? And if there's enough people continuing to say, like, when are we getting self-custody? I really think that comes to the top of the list of things that they work out and figure out, like, the best way to resolve that. But I do agree with Mark, like we need additional tech advancements to really make the guardrails safer. I mean, I remember even just a few years ago, it was like, if I was sending ETH, right, to another wallet address, I was like, do I have every single thing correct, right? Because
I still do that.
But I still couldn't be sure if I was even sending it to another ETH wallet.
Yeah.
Right? If it's even on the same blockchain. Now if you do this, it's like, hey, warning, like this isn't a Bitcoin address or this isn't an ETH address, right? They started to build out like some of these some of this tech to be able to have guardrails to help people along the way, so that they don't send it into the ether and just lose that money. But there's still a lot that needs to come that way to make things more secure, right? So that people can't click on those links. Now, like, hey, and just for people who are watching, I did create like 10 months ago, I did a video on crypto scams, common crypto scams. And I didn't touch necessarily on the one that specifically happened to Mr. Rolex, right? About, and this is a big deal, where it was a trusted source and it was a link that was malicious coming on their announcement channel, or, from like that's a new one where they basically hijacked the link and changed it to something else.
Yeah.
But even then, he still had to connect his wallet. That's a step that he has to do. And before you connect any wallet to anything, especially if it's a link in a Discord, you reach out to the members and say, is this something that you have done? Anyways, I do this video and I talk about some of the scams that happen in crypto. You should watch it and be very careful. I know that a lot of people, they clamor for this self-custody, but then there are like some bad things about self-custody, right? Like where you lose it and it's gone forever. Whereas in a centralized thing like we have right now with VeVe, if there's a bad actor, you can potentially get that back. So pros and cons for sure. Let's see. You can't have a hybrid model. I disagree, Realm. Like what I think. How about this, Danny? Go ahead and what do you mean by a hybrid model?
I mean, the ability to either store your collectibles in VeVe or claim self-custody and remove them and put them in your own wallet.
Yeah, I think what the way they could do that is the way they have it done right now. Like if you decide to take your FA Miles Morales into your custody, like your self custody, you have to fill out this form. Like I agree to this, and this, and then that technically, then you get full access to the self custody of that thing, right? Like if you get scammed, we can't help you. If you lose this, it's your fault. All the liability piece right there, and you can still have that hybrid model where people can still keep it on VeVe and have them take care of it.
Yeah, and I mean, Realm's not wrong, right? That like once you open up self custody, it opens it up for scammers,
Yep.
and there would be things that VeVe would have to implement, right? Like a token authenticator or something that anytime that you're going to send something out. So let's say you sign that agreement, right? What if your account gets hacked and you sign that agreement? They could then send all those collectibles out to so they still need to have something like a token authenticator where I've got to put in a code before any of these can be sent out.
Oh yeah, 2-factor.
Yeah, 2-factor. But I still don't like the 2-factor of just like an email code.
No, it's got to be 2-factor
right?
to like the Google app or whatever.
Yeah, the Google Authenticator app.
Yeah, Google Authenticator.
So yeah, like there's a way to go there, but I want to address
maybe even if there's a lag in time. So like you claim self-custody for this asset, but it takes like 3 days for it to be sent. This way you're getting notifications that you apply, you claim self-custody. And so there's that time period where if it's a scam and someone did it for you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's like a time lapse.
It's like that email you get that's like, oh, someone tried to change your password. Is this you? Confirm.
Correct. Then you have to confirm.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think bronze tickets will be, if released by end of year, will create a similar pump to the MCP point announcement? And I'm guessing regarding OMI, right? And do you think that may onboard new users once announced?
I saw it was Asian Dan did a video on this, and he talked about how he doesn't think that the bronze tickets will be as big initially, just due to the fact that if you look at some of the drops that are happening right now, they're not completely selling out. And I agree with him. I think the initial hype of it will pump the price. Like when it comes out, it's like, oh yeah, OMI has real utility now because the MCP thing was whatever, right? People are saying it's whatever. But I think the bronze tickets start to pump when we start to get back to back grails drop on the app. And then we have the Miles Moraleses that drop consistently. Like we have Wolverine 250 editions. I know a ton of people that are going to put a ton of money into to make sure they get a spot.
I need Wolverine.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I think that the initial pump, but I think also though, it will inspire a little more long-term confidence in people who lack it because they fear that these things aren't coming. So even the fact of them getting it out just shows progress and checks a box. And so it inspires confidence that the next box will get checked. So fundamentally, I think it strengthens the project.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about so I agree with all those points. I don't think it's going to do very well initially either. And even for separate reasons than what Asian Dan had said, because it's a pain to convert OMI to layer 2.
Yes.
You got to purchase it and then send it over to the app and stuff. And so unless it's a crazy grail drop initially or something, most people are just not going to do it. They're not going to get that OMI and buy those bronze tickets with it. It's not until they build out the capacity for people to buy layer 2 OMI with a credit card. Then like you need that ease of access to let the emotion override the logical sense sometimes and let that FOMO build in where people are like, I got to get this, right? But if they're starting to buy the OMI and they're like, I can't even figure this out. I'm over it. I'm not.
Yeah, right. Buying an app is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me that will be a major catalyst for the OMI burns going forward, is the ability to buy that layer 2 OMI with a credit card on the app.
The thing with bronze tickets too is that can't you buy bronze tickets with your MCP points as well? Or something along the lines of extra raffles.
I know that they're changing when they're thinking about with the OUP merging with MCP, that might be a possibility. In the original tokenomics plan or whatever, the last program, it wasn't. It was only strictly through OMI.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the reason for that is I think they're going to be gating or setting apart certain collectible, like a certain number of collectibles for MCP points, right? So they're like, hey, we're going to reserve 33% of the different rarities for people who use MCP points, and then for bronze tickets, right? And maybe buying bronze tickets will get you into that. Yeah. See, we need more information on that. Like, I don't know exactly how it's going to build out. So, I mean, we could.
And then there was a whole like staking tier too, where you can get like a gold ticket or something like that, right? That was also part of it as well.
That's a big deal, right? That guarantees you a spot on that. That could be wild. This is a good point. There have been a lot of grails that have dropped, and so how are they going to use these bronze tickets? Like, what kind of grails? I still think that there's a lot because there's other verticals that haven't dropped on VeVe, right? Music, sports, more phygital like things, right? So
I would think that they have these things planned out years in advance in terms of spacing out their drops to ensure that they have highly desirable drops every quarter for years on end. And like you said, there are those different sectors that they can branch off into. And even if they release a super scarce version of I don't know, any major character, even if it's not FA, if there are 150 of them, it's going to be sought after. This one of, not this one, but the one of 50. So if they release something that only has 50 editions, that all of a sudden is highly sought after in a grail.
Yeah, and I think like I was gonna say with the grails coming out, I think like you're right with the verticals too, right? I'm going to say the P word. I do think we will get Pokemon because if you think about it logically, like Pokemon loves to share their IP out with other companies. Funko has it. You have Squishmallows that has it. They've done McDonald's Happy Meal toys. It's just inevitable that it does come to VeVe, even if Pokemon decides to go their own route for NFTs, right? I think it comes to VeVe, and I think that the reason why we haven't seen it yet is because we haven't fully rolled out to Japan. And David has said in the past that he wants to respect where the franchise originated from before he rolls out any type of IP. Even with like Ultraman or Astro Boy, those have been really they're not the Japanese version of those characters either, right? So I think once we get localization and roll out in Japan, I think we will start to see the anime vertical come in.
Yeah, that's Moonboy talk, Mark. We don't allow that here.
But I just thinking about it logically, like
it also makes sense. I mean,
like the majority of the income that Pokemon makes is based on licensing out their IP. So for me, it just makes logical sense to have a very like established NFT front runner like VeVe sell their Pokemon products, right?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Oh, look at this, Charlie. So he says he's got over 2,700 NFTs between collectibles and comics. Master Collector 70, 10 mil only on the app, and gets 3,700 daily MCP. He's banking on MCP in the future with more users on the app. I am too, Charlie. Like I would definitely question, and that's another question that I think that we should, like, I want to ask David or the team. Like what's the timeline in general for when we get to start using these MCP points? These things have been launched in like March, and I know that they've had to take some time to really make sure that most people's the accounting or the counting of those points are correct. But that's basically been done. I mean, I know like Biscuits has still had some issues, so there's still some people out there that they need to rectify their accounts with. But like, come on, like we really should be. They need to start releasing that. That is something that I don't understand, or there should be some sort of communication as to why they're waiting to release this or what's happening. Because man, this is taking.
And not only does that impact, obviously people's ability to use the points, but in terms of OMI utility, that's the only utility we have right now. But it's not even full-fledged utility because you have. I looked at the top 50 wallets and maybe half of them are staking 10 million OMI.
Yep.
Half of them have 0 because they don't need it because they have 1 million points,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no need to accrue points for a lot of people because they have all of these points that they can't spend already. And so that part of OMI utility becomes more viable when they can drain those points. And that's another thing. They're going to have to find ways to drain those points. They're going to have to offer drops that are strictly bought through MCP points, or find some creative ways because these people got like millions of,
Well, you know that, like, so this is the thing is, once they start doing this, you have 6 months to use your points.
Yes.
And then they get burned if they're not used, right? So so there will be that, but then what really starts to benefit is the people who haven't sold, right, and are the collectors still, that on a daily basis are gaining. So you can have some that had a ton of sets early on, and so but then they sold. They kind of lost faith in the team or whatever. For whatever reason, they sold. They've got all these points, but those expire in 6 months. But now on a daily basis, they're not going to be getting that anymore. And the collectors and those who are staking only together, they're going to have those daily points that add up, and they're going to have a better shot going forward at some of these drops. But I agree that they've got to be drops that people want, So it'll be interesting to see how VeVe plays that out, and what's the runway of grails that they have before people are like, I got points and I could use it, but like this just doesn't interest me.
I wonder if it's like a balancing act with them delaying the MCP rollout because they want to have it as fair as possible. Because like think about if like you try to like I play a lot of video games, right? And if you overpower one thing or you push one thing too far, then it becomes a pay to win system, and then you lose your users because they're like, these guys have been here for a long time, and I'm not playing anymore, right? So I wonder if, to play devil's advocate on their side, they're just having a hard time balancing that with your Mr. Rolexes and your Dr. Profits with someone just coming in. They want to make it so that they have an advantage, but it also is fair to the new users coming in, and they feel that they have a chance to get something, right?
Well, but that's why, like, you can't use MCP points for the entire drop. They're only taking a segment of them and allocating that. But then the other people still have a chance, right? So I still think it increases your chance for being a holder on certain drops. But then it doesn't exclude some of these other people who may have no points, right? That they still have a chance and they can still hit some of that. So,
and McFarlane they rolled out their XP points right away, and I feel like they kind of botched theirs a bit because the way they did it was very top heavy, insofar as if you had whatever XP points, you could get 5 collectibles on drop, and so it wasn't like the first Batman. Didn't even make public mint, or there was like very little amount left public mint, and you had a small amount of people holding 5 each, and then they would just dump on the market. So it is a balancing act, and it has to be well thought out.
Yeah,
that's a good example.
I was very frustrated at that. That people were. I get the rewarding, and I actually was like, okay, maybe if they got 2. I'd be okay with that. But some of these people who were able to buy 5, I was like,
5.
All right, they're buying just to dump on us at this point. And that's not cool either, right? Like, because now you're making the rich get even richer, potentially. And I just did not like that play at all. But I don't mind them rewarding it. And I mean, people have like a legitimate question when they're saying, well, how come McFarlane has been able to reward, account for everyone's points and stuff like that so easy and get this rolled out, and VeVe hasn't. Like that VeVe's been doing this for a long time.
Part of it is because they had to retrofit everything, right, and go back to the beginning, and they'd already minted millions of collectibles. And also, I think on the VeVe side, they created this robust program. They should have kept it simple and then scale out.
Yeah.
And that switched from GoChain over to Immutable too. Probably didn't help.
Right.
That could be cool. And we still don't really understand like the integration of how our NFTs are going to play, or what's their utility, apart from being able to use them in our expanded showroom. Like what else they could potentially do with that, right? So I don't know. I think it'll be very interesting to see how the VeVeverse starts to play into things, or what additional utility they can add because of that. So when he's talking about avatars, right? Maybe you can have the avatar, or you have to spend MCP points to be able to have an upgraded avatar. Maybe your avatar has the gold cape, even though you can't get the NFT for it of Superman or something, right? You can do it that way, or maybe Omi is used or something. So
Yeah. It gets me excited to see people like Tails that have access already post things like, oh, if I could just post a video and shut everyone up, like I would love to do that. And so I think those guys that are in there, and I think Tails of all people too have been here since the beginning, and he's very critical when it comes to these things. And the fact that he's this excited really gets me excited too to see it actually roll out.
Well, next week, VeVe Vantage is releasing their interview with Dan Crothers, and on Will Goes Meta's YouTube channel, I believe we may get a glimpse of the VeVe verse.
Yeah, I think it's with David, asking David those questions about the VeVe verse was probably not the way to go, because he himself said that they keep him away from it because he always spills secrets, right? So
yeah, that's why you got to wait for the Dan interview. We'll see what that's and see what he says. I think that'll give us a real understanding of what's going on.
100%.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think that this is a good stopping point. I mean, we've been going for a little over an hour and a half. 3 comments is kind of rough for the unboxing, but I'm stoked that Mark, you were able to get, that ultra rare, and Danny Bold's got his OG, So
I love him anyway. He's not ultra
mint.
rare or a secret rare, but I love him. He's low mint.
You just got to break out the black paint on the red there.
Yeah. So, hey, everyone, if you haven't already, would love it if you could like and subscribe to my channel. Also follow Danny Bull and Mark on Twitter. In the comments or in the notes below, I've included their Twitter handle and their YouTube channels. So follow them if you haven't already. And thanks for staying around and just being part of this community. Appreciate y'all. Take it easy.
Peace.